Welcome to today's reading, where we all comfortably sit back and read from my now classic piece of literature, Class of '86. Chapter 1. Wait. This is really long. You know what? Let's just watch Slaughter High instead. Yes, from my time renting slasher films left and right as a child, Slaughter High is one that made one of the bigger impressions. Could be its very familiar template. Nerdy kid is injured during a prank and then seeks revenge years later. Or could be the amazing box cover, that skeleton is gonna party after graduation. Released in 1986 but filmed in 1984 under the title of April Fool's Day, till they realized, oh crap, there's another 1986 film called April Fool's Day coming out, and it's got Biff in it. Gotta respect that. Time to change the title. However, there is a Japanese VHS that still keeps the April Fool's Day title. It's a slasher that had to be so perfect, it took 3 people to direct, which included the late George Dugdale, who dated its star Caroline Munro during filming and were later married till he passed away in 2020. The other directors were Mark Ezra, the writer of The Dark Knight, the 2000 TV series, and Peter Mackenzie Lytton, who did effects work on this film, and also Rawhead Rex. And you can tell Harry Manfredini did the score, because a lot of it sounds like a reworked version of the Friday the 13th soundtrack. The movie opens outside this high school where obviously an abandoned mental institution is used for the exteriors. It was a co-production between the US and the UK, so it largely has a British cast, although with it being set in America, all of them are trying to do American accents with varying degrees of quality. Because of this, the movie also uses the UK rules of April Fool's Day as well, where the pranks go until noon and not all day long. The prank here being to lure in the nerdy kid, Marty Ranson, played by Simon Scudamore. Caroline Munro is telling him he'll get so laid.
What do you think you got here, some little virgin? Me, I'm a sex machine.
They're taking a huge chance that pranking Marty isn't gonna turn him into the Toxic Avenger. They're even luring him into the girls' locker room.
I can't go in there.
Sure you can.
She's telling you it's okay. Clearly you're all in your 20s and 30s. Caroline Munro is around 35 here. She could be one of the teachers. We're gonna do it in the shower. Don't mind all the mold. That's what gets me turned on. That and fake accents, of course. Come on, guys, this is gonna be great! In the 80s, there wasn't much classwork. It was mostly picking on the nerd till he turns into a vengeful killing machine later on down the road. What are they planning on doing to him? Okay, let him out, then we're gonna javelin his ass and shoot some electricity through his nipples. It's weird seeing people make a shot-on-shitio version of the movie during the movie. Now the prank's getting sad.
This is the best birthday I've ever had.
April 1st is your birthday?
Damn it, and Bloody Birthday is also a title that's taken. Don't worry, we'll shoot icing on him and electrocute his hands. Won't someone stop this?
They be fooling about in the girls' locker room.
Yeah, so what else is new?
Right? They fool around in the girls' locker room every day. There's no rule that says they can't. This is a prank so hardcore, I can barely show any of it. Props to the actor for going nude on a level of Eastern Promises. Christ, it's like watching a prison film. Alright, break it up, fellas. Grab your souvenir panties and bras and save the mask for the 3rd act. Marty will need it to slaughter these people.
Well, you can tell the rest of the team that you've just been drafted.
Yes, that's strike 3, Skip. You're going to Vietnam! Now they're pissed Marty got them in trouble. You could've just left it at the prank. Change one letter and it'd be the happier title of Laughter High. It looks like their punishment is being taught self-defense with a banana by John Cleese, who then shoots them. For the coach, they originally wanted Telly Savalas or Peter Lawford, who wanted too much money, no shit. So it's Mark Smith playing the role, and not all of them could make the punishment. Some are filming their PSA for Dare.
Yeah, well, next time I'm about to score, cool it, will ya?
This looks like a musical number is about to break out because the school did their own version of High Tops.
Try this joint. It's really good stuff, man.
But guys, isn't this stuff illegal? I don't see no cops around, do you? You can tell from their delivery, they talk about the drugs all the time.
Just wait until he tries that dope.
Yes, he'll be sorry once the reefer kicks in. And what is happening here? Is this punishment for them or a reward for the pervy coach, or both? Marty, however, does what every nerdy kid does, stays behind at school, and writes a series of numbers and letters on the board that look like equations, and there's always something boiling. Then after one puff, he's gonna get his scholarship taken away and sell his body on the streets for more smack till he's thrown in the can by McGruff. At least the school is following the safety protocols of the time. Always mark your acid and leave it right on the edge of the shelf so it'll be easy to grab. Maybe these kids would improve their grades if they spent half the time on homework and not on pranks. It isn't enough that Marty simply got sick from the joint, but Skip dropped some powder in his, whatever that is, science fluids. This turned his ginger ale diet, and he hates diet soda. As for Carrie-inspired exercise detention...
Keep your elbows into your side, Cheryl. That's it. Breathe out as you curl up. Now breathe in as...
Coach is going full must develop your bust. Now they can finish their steamy 80s music video, where Marty's injury goes according to plan. The powder causes a fire, the ginger ale stings his eyes, and... Oh, that's just the boys messing around in the lab again, trying to make one of those love potions. They'll never learn. The interiors are at a closed grammar school about to be demolished, which is how the filmmakers were able to run amok and blow shit up. No joke, they did have to stop for a day though, when pyrotechnics caused suspicion from the Secret Service because Reagan happened to be visiting England. Get Jeff Williams in here. He'll punch these commie pranks right out of the students. I like how Marty keeps getting injured in new ways. Oh no, now he's burned his hands. He'll be fine, folks, he'll be fine. We'll just wipe the powder off his face, and he'll be back to putting liquid heat in the Alpha Beta's jocks.
I'm sorry, Marty. We didn't mean to.
Her dreams often come with the Friday the 13th score. It's 10 years later, and life is pretty good for Carol. Sure, she feels guilty sometimes about Marty, but the money helps with that, and the full bar in the living room. Not only does Caroline Munro play an actress named Carol, but she gets a call from the producer of the movie.
Carol, baby, I just called you to say good morning and have a good day, you know.
Thanks, legendary exploitation producer Dick Randall, the producer of this film and the classic Pieces. Look, there's the poster. Though his name is Manny here, so does that mean there's two producers of Pieces who look the same? And what's with this movie he's asking her to be in?
The guy's weird, the story's weird.
You take your clothes off for the photographers every day of the week.
That guy should be locked up.
He has been.
I see they're making The Burning 2. Harvey Weinstein is out of prison and wrote a follow-up script. And then the scene gets weirder.
Who's a pretty boy?
Hey, I take it all back.
I was talking to the dog, Manny.
Hey, you made me look up from reading my lines off this paper, baby. And boy, does this follow a template. The classic POV that could be the killer, but is gonna be one of her friends. Usually it's the character's boyfriend who gets in the shower with her, but they changed it up here. Then she's off to the nearest 80s hairband shoot, while Skip is, I don't know, probably selling a collection of knives. When we come back, another killer is created due to a game of slug bug gone horribly wrong.
Someone has come to the prom alone. If you're not back by midnight, you won't be coming home.
We're back, and they are on their way to their 10-year high school reunion. How about some music?
Barry fucking Manilow? You gotta be kidding me.
Oh, we don't have the budget for that. Switch the station, quick. They're all doing well, it seems. One is hitchhiking to the reunion.
I'm glad you came by. I thought I was gonna have to walk all the way from the 7-Eleven back there.
And has been living in London a while, I guess. The gang is all together. There's Joe and, Nick Tortelli's wife from Cheers. Now let's fix the car and get to the reunion. You're on your own when the reunion is over. Guess you'll be living in the school now. We picked a great location. The exterior was also used in Adam Ant's Goody Two-Shoes video, and we all love that song. They're now wondering why they're the only ones there. Remember the opening sequence? It looked like they were the only students that went to that school anyway. And the POV is probably the pervy coach who is gonna make them lift weights in the shower. Forget the killer, how are any of these people still alive?
For Christ's sakes, Frank, what are you trying to do, kill us?
Kill you? Christ, I think I cracked my collarbone. You all haven't aged a day since high school, because we filmed these scenes the next day. Clearly, Marty sent out fake invitations to lure them back to the school so he could kill them. And instead of being like, guess there was a mistake, they just wait outside till it gets dark until eventually one says, screw it, I'm going inside. We'll break in if we have to. Just listen to the music. See, that's what the slasher movie is. None of you were responsible for causing a kid to drown at a camp, right? Hell, at one point, they just give up and say, oh, we know what we're doing. Just in case you didn't get the reference.
Who do you think I was? Jason?
Actually, no. You're prime Trevor Morehouse material. They had a decent-sized explosion budget, but a lighting budget? Not so much. Someone light someone else on fire so I can see what's going on, or at least stand outside and turn the flashlight on and off so we can say it's lightning. Here's where Coach made us exercise with ass clenches. And this wasn't even gym. This is the music hall. I forgot the school closed down after Halloween. You can still see the fake spiderweb decorations up. Oh, this takes me back. And they still don't think any of this is sinister.
Reminds me of prom night, doesn't it, Joe?
True. Another prank gone wrong revenge slasher. Anyway, this seems legit. No one else is here, but someone still set up a welcome back party. Let's just drink whatever's in front of us. And there's lockers filled with things of ours that went missing over the years. Haha, this is all normal. Truly, no one is setting us up. Who could it be?
Hey, isn't that Marty's locker?
Oh hey, someone put Marty's locker in here too. I hope this isn't an elaborate revenge plot by Marty, complete with a rat in his locker and his yearbook, where it still seems like they are the only students in this school. Please tell us what Marty's been up to.
When they'd finished with him, he still looked a real mess. The doctor said he'd never be fit for human company again.
So basically, the doctor's diagnosis was, I'm sorry, but your son is a loser. Why are you all joking around? Clearly Marty wants revenge!
They say he still roams the nut house, ever hopeful of that chance to escape.
Now let's get the fake out jump scare out of the way so we can keep drinking. It's 1 in the morning! I'm sure the rest of the class will turn up any minute now. Until then, smoke more of the dope. You know this will definitely be a scene where a character says, "This is good shit," because that's the first line in the scene. So, we're gonna go our separate ways so the killer can get us?
Skip, I want to go pee.
And given that was a jump scare, I'm guessing she has an infection? I'm used to the killer having teleportation powers, but not the heroes. It's impressive they got out ahead of them and jumped in the shower. But my biggest question of the whole movie...
What the hell are you kids think you're doing? Don't you know you're trespassing?
Why on earth is the janitor still there? He says he's the caretaker now, which, okay, sure. But if he's not in cahoots with Marty, he's shitty at his job. That's answered quick. He's the first one to go. Where Jester Mask Marty says, "This guy didn't even notice me living here and setting up a reunion. We need a new caretaker." And why is there a caretaker? Marty even gave them some good games. Now for a classic game of ants in the pants. Almost seems more like a slasher class reunion parody than the actual slasher parody called Class Reunion. Oh, guys, something happened. I think Marty turned the beer into light beer. Well, I wasn't expecting it to briefly be an Alien knockoff. These reunions always bring back memories. I remember when we tried out an old can of Billy beer. Oh, are they actually scared now? Stumbling upon the caretaker still being terrible at his job? That was just always there. Even 10 years ago, this was still the world's most dangerous school. Hurry, find the nearest room to hide out in, and make sure you turn the light on in case the killer has trouble finding you. I guess Marty knew that as soon as they figured out there was a killer, one would go to the world's most questionable bathroom and immediately strip down nude to take a bath. Never thought I'd say this, but slow down, slasher movie. I sure hope they can get out of here. Oh no, will the car not start? It made sense for Marty to be in the back seat. He knew they'd try starting the car while leaving one behind to take a bath, which he also knew was gonna happen, so he rigged it to where it would become a bath of acid. Yeah, you made me drink diet ginger ale. Now try bathing in it, bitch. And thus he created his own Harley Quinn. I like that there's a very thin line between slasher movie villains and comic book villains. Told you it was from the writer of The Dark Knight. Still though, not bad effects. When I can see what's going on, that's why she turned on the light, so we know she can now pose for the skeleton on the cover. Well, do they know it's Marty now?
What happened to Marty was an accident. It wasn't our fault.
I'm still not ruling out the killer from Terror Train. There's even a part where someone does say, "Turn the light on." It's like they knew years from now I would be taking notes on this and having extreme difficulty due to the goddamn caretaker not paying the electric bill. All you need to know is they split up. And just when you think you're starting to see what's going on, it's false hope and the light goes out again. It does come on long enough to see he still made good use out of the photography class, but didn't have enough time to develop his 3D technology for his revenge. As for the others, if they put their heads together, they can get out of this.
Joe said he saw a tractor when you came in.
Excellent. Slasher killers always catch you on foot anyway, so let's make it even easier for them with a tractor. Gotta love any slasher that devotes a significant amount of time in the second act to fixing a tractor that happened to still be at the school. Look, he can fix it. He's already wearing his sleeveless I Can Fix Anything shirt. It comes with a free pack of cigarettes in the sleeve. It's good to see some of them rekindling old times, though, with sex and drugs, because if you think about it, a lot of slasher films are almost the big chill. They're not gonna let a killer get in the way of their reunion. If they aren't getting laid, they're fixing tractors. Idiots. All idiots! They know there's a killer here, and he's still like, I'm gonna assume it's my friend who just walked in, and not Marty, or the hero of a vigilante Death Wish knockoff. There's always a scene of someone getting a vehicle dropped on them in one of those. Bonus points if there's a propeller. Next time, if there's a killer, have someone keep watch. What is with these people? Carol just goes to sleep. And is again awakened by Friday the 13th music. Although I've seen some great sex death scenes in Friday the 13th films, like the spear through the couple in part 2, or split down the middle with a rod and Jason Goes to Hell, but this tops it. I still love how Marty knew one would take a bath, one would fix the tractor, and two would bang, so he rigged the bed like it's in a haunted carnival funhouse. Oh, and now Skip is like, let's stick together. And that son of a bitch drank all the beer. This time he's gone too far.
You filthy, stinking bastard, Marty! What do you want from us?
He Clearly wants there to be light, can't you tell? Despite there being pretty bad lighting in this, I can still tell the location does wonders here. It does look like they fixed up a school that was about to be demolished. It's a grungy, dirty set, which gives it a cool, grittier aesthetic that you would definitely need a shot if your toe hit a nail or something. But it's when the characters talk that things get a little questionable.
April Fool's Day ends at noon. Marty won't hurt us after midday, I'm sure of it.
Oh yeah, the deranged killer will obey all the rules. Oh, but wait, we're supposed to be in America. We gotta follow American rules of the purge. Oh, we're screwed. The dude killed the janitor, and that guy didn't do anything to him. But never mind Friday the 13th.
All we have to do is stay awake.
Because it's Nightmare on Elm Street now! At least they do stay in one place until dawn, but eventually just couldn't help themselves. Look behind you, you idiots! Let's take a break so they can, I don't know, find a tape of their old school production of Stage Fright or something.
It's the most terrifying ride of your life. On the Terror Train, rated R.
We're back, and no joke, they're trying to kill time for an hour before noon hits. Do you think Marty will just let you go? Just hang out on that rope for another hour. You got this, then I'm sure he'll let you down. What else could we do? Well, there's a tub. Could take a bath together, I guess. It's what the producer would want. I like when Nancy just breaks away and runs outside. Wait a minute, we could have just gone out there and ran our asses off the whole time? Just watch out for hot oil traps. There are times when he's wearing the jester mask that a stand-in is used. This was the only movie for Simon Scudamore, who tragically died at the age of 28 in 1984. So when there were some reshoots, it was co-director Mark Ezra who took over. I guess there was some padding that had to be added too. The running time came up short at 75 minutes, so a lot more footage was added of Caroline Munro running from the killer, where, I don't know if I would have noticed, it has the usual amount of running from the killer in the climax. It still almost feels like I'm watching a rough cut, because the familiar Harry Manfredini music does sometimes come across like a temp soundtrack. All that being said, this was always a slasher that stayed in my memory for a long time. Of course, I rented it as a kid based on the awesome box cover. Yeah, it's got a go-to revenge plot device you'd see in everything from Prom Night to I Know What You Did Last Summer. But I guess I like that slasher template. If you're gonna do something that honors slashers, it's a good one to use. When I can see what's going on, I do like how some of it is shot. Like a slasher that's running through the sets of something like Cyborg. The cinematographer Alan Pudney also shot Don't Open Till Christmas, a movie which actually did have a scene where Caroline Munro plays herself. Again, if the chase music from Friday the 13th is playing in your head as you're watching me talk over these clips, you don't need me to play the sound, because that's exactly what's happening. I'd like to have seen this killer and some other things too. Forget the bad, I'm taking the pool cue! On the plus side, these friends didn't seem that close after graduation anyway. They may be dead, but it's not like Carol was gonna see them again regardless. And they are tearing this place up! Take that, Marty! You missed. I mean, duh, I'm still alive. You're gonna have to do better than that. Now they're back to where it all began, the girls' locker room. Where it'll all be settled when she gives him her panties so he can finally show his friends. Really, Marty has aged well too. He doesn't seem that disfigured. With the lighting, it makes his scars look a little badass. Damn, I wish Simon Scudamore was in more stuff. He's having a good time here.
I showed ya! April Fool!
And that sets up for a what the hell ending. After he kills Carol, now it's getting artsy. Like watching Carrie if the ghosts of her bullies came back to now take revenge on her. An endless circle of revenge? It's an ending you get when the writers probably did take some of the poison-laced weed. Why is it suddenly the ending to Bill Lustig's Maniac? Not to mention, it has a little something else in common with April Fool's Day. None of the main main characters actually died. I guess that means the movie has no flaws. You can chalk it up to, well, it was all a dream, because it was. Unlike April Fool's Day, though, this one does do a stinger where the killer actually does kill someone, in a sequence where, again, I have the feeling the writer does watch this, saying, you know, I also wrote The Dark Knight, right? Thus ends Slaughter High, a very fun movie with kind of a bullshit ending, but at least does go completely crazy about it, to where it's still fairly memorable. So not the full wisdom. You could chalk it up to, okay, he awakens, and now the actual events of the slasher portion are gonna happen in reality. This close to the nightmare becomes reality from Nightmare City. If you want a slasher that's not bad at being familiar territory, with some pretty funny death scenes, you got it here. And if you watched thinking needs to be far, far, far more post-apocalyptic with more shenanigans and Cold War paranoia, then click on the Amazon links and purchase my new book, Class of '86, today on ebook, paperback, or hardcover. Help make it #1 in humorous science fiction, and I hope you have a fun time reading it.